In this video, I'm going to talk about the radicalism crisis in Libya, or in other words, the Second Libya Civil War, and answer these five research questions shown above. Around the end of 2010, a revolution called the Arab Spring instigated a series of events and conflicts in the Arab world, including Libya. The following year, Colonel Muammar Gaddafi, who has been governing the country over 40 years, was thrown over by the radical citizens. Nevertheless, the expected peace and prosperity didn't appear. Instead, various organizations gained military power through the revolt and started a more severe civil war in 2014 that is continuing today and causing the deaths and displacements of millions of Libyans. After the death of Gaddafi, his former general, Khalifa Haftar, who was supported by Western countries, formed an army and tried to control the situation in Libya by invading Tripoli, the capital. Nevertheless, an Islamist-dominated organization used advanced weapons seized from the revolution to throw Khalifa Haftar and his army out into the eastern parts of the country. Later, these Islamists named themselves the Government of National Salvation and based their organization in Tripoli, while Khalifa Haftar formed the Tobruk-based government in the east to rebel with them. Though these two governments are the sources of conflicts, another organization is also causing turmoil in Libya, the ISIS. After infiltrated Libya in 2014, ISIS fighters have already seized the coastal towns of Derna and Sirte and attacked many other regions, including Tobruk. Before the collapse of Gaddafi's regime, Libya was experiencing harsh dictatorship. The country was just like Gaddafi's private property, which provides a huge amount of income for him each year. After his collapse, Libya entered a so-called democratic era. So citizens voted for themselves to elect a new government and parliament. The results actually meant nothing to the new existing powers. The fighting between them still continues, and the political system in Libya just changed from a single-person dictatorship to a multi-person dictatorship where each organization can do what they want to do. There are two reasons that lead to the conflicts in Libya, one relating to resources and power, and the another relating to culture. The first one is pretty obvious. Libya has a huge production and storage of oil. Taking over the country means taking over the control of such an enormous source of funding. Therefore, the organizations in Libya are competing over each other, and even the ISIS came to be a part of this. The second reason is Libya's culture. Looking into the history, we know that Libya wasn't one country in the beginning. It was a region comprised of three little countries, Tripolitania, Fezzan, and Cyrenaica. Though after World War II, it was forcefully merged to form the country Libya. The estrangement between the people in the three original countries wasn't solved. People were seeing themselves as an individual of a certain tribe or a religion, not as a Libyan. Therefore, after Gaddafi's regime was thrown over, different new governments rose up and wouldn't agree with each other since they have various purposes and backgrounds. The first impact is the reduction of oil production in Libya. Due to the constant gunfire, the oil production dropped from 1.6 million barrels per day in 2010 to 0.4 million barrels per day in 2015. This has put a great burden on the GDP of Libya. The second impact is the displacement of many citizens in Libya, not to mention those who died. Many individuals' homes were destroyed. In order to seek asylum, many of them took dangerous routes on boats to flee to European countries. In a nutshell, though the result of the revolution wasn't satisfactory, we still need to look at it from a positive view. The current situation might just be the transition of Libya from a dictatorial country to a democratic country. The first taste of freedom might have overwhelmed the Libyans and led them to make wrong decisions. I firmly believe that the problems in Libya would be solved in the near future, and the country would be more peaceful and prosperous than before. Therefore, in order to solve the crisis, here are two solutions. The first one is separating Libya back into the state of three countries. In this way, the various uprising tribes and governments may decide a leader respectively in their own country, since they are of the same culture and background and are more willing to listen to each other. The second solution would be forcefully control Libya again with dictatorship to stabilize the situation, since during Gaddafi's regime, people were leading lives that were relatively peaceful and prosperous. However, I still consider the first solution a better plan, since the estrangement between the three countries wasn't that easy to get rid of. Even if it solved the current problem, there would still be future conflicts. Also, Libyans have already paid a lot to throw over the dictatorship they were experiencing. All these efforts would be wasted if they were put back under dictatorship. Therefore, I believe the best way to solve the crisis would be separating Libya back into three countries. Lastly, I want to explain how does this event relate to the concept of systems. First of all, there are those various organizations and governments in Libya that teach me about systems in current situation and countries and in current crisis. And secondly, there is the transition of the political system from dictatorship to a so-called democratic system in Libya. And that is really another material that I can learn and study systems from. And finally, there are the systems of the three different original countries that made up Libya, and those systems contribute to the conflicts and also teach me about how different systems can affect an event. And this ends my presentation. Thank you for watching.